And we have just a few more minutes to this section. I wanted to speak a little bit. I haven't yet shared the data we found on what I started to describe at the top was the realities of the game. So again, based on this huge data set that we were able to collect over years from women's collegiate beach volleyball, we found that while it varied certainly from year to year, although not much, women's collegiate beach volleyball, the teams that we were coaching, we were playing in serve receive, was about 63% of the game was played in serve receive for us. And about 37% of the game was in transition. And so, again, the insight that we took from that was, certainly we should be training more in the serve receive phase of the game than in the transition phase of the game, because on competition day, we need to be playing pretty good volleyball for in the serve receive percentage of the game. And so that's what we call training in reality. So we wouldn't know whether we should train 50% serve receive and 50% transition unless we had this data. And so that takes us to the top on the why. So why do we measure things? Well, because it allows us to put together better practice plans and put our players in a better position to succeed on competition day. We also found that roughly 59% so in the serve receive phase, which was 63% of all the volleyball we played, 59% we were in system and 46% of that time we were out of system. So, and again, to the same effect, we were able to use that information to determine, hey, we should probably be training in system serve receive about 60% of the time, the skills that are essential to perform in that moment. And then we should also, because we are out of system a significant portion of the game, almost half of the 63% of the time that we're on offense, we're out of system. It gave us some insight into saying, hey, this is a significant part of the competition, and we as coaches had better make sure we're giving our players a chance to succeed by making this portion of the practice a significant amount of the time that we have. At least a third of the practice should be working on out of system offense. So again, we were able to use the data that we were able to collect to drive our practice planning decisions, and we'll get to that a little bit later. And then a final point in this section is, again, what were we measuring and why is we were able to attack, and I didn't spend a lot of time on it, we were able to stat our players' offenses by zone in the court. And so certainly worldwide, there's different ways to slice up the volleyball court and call it by zone. So I'll just refer to our left front, our middle zone, and our right front. We were able to track players' attack percentages from those various zones. But perhaps more importantly, we were also able to determine how many attempts they were getting. And for example, this past year, I was looking at some of that data, and I was learning that some of our players were getting 90% of all of their training was on one side of the court, and only 10% was on the other side of the court. So that wasn't completely by accident. That was largely because that particular player was designated a right or left side player, and they were playing on that side in competition. But we thought it was pretty important to perhaps give the player an opportunity to have a little more well-rounded training. Even a right side player needs more attempts on the left side than 1 out of 10, we thought, because she may have to play the left side with a new partner. Her partner may want to switch courts, switch sides of the court, which necessarily puts our player on the other side. And because in the transition phase of the game, our right side player may get a dig and have to take a swing on the left side of the court. And so catching that mistake, if you will, by us coaches allowed us an opportunity to say, wait, we need to give these players a greater chance to train on the other side of the court in their offense than what we're currently giving them, so that when we're in a match and we get a dig or something happens that causes our player to be on the other side of the court than she typically plays, she has a greater chance at being successful. And we don't make the coaching mistake of blaming it on the player when in fact it's probably the coach's fault for not designing a more intelligent practice during the week. So with that, that kind of closes or wraps that that what is your standard and what are you measuring section. And after a break here, we'll slide into better practice design. It's out in, I believe I published it on